We dodged a bullet, America, but not the kind you may think. It is said, history repeats itself, even rhymes. In the wee hours of this morning, the ghost of 2016 swept over blue America, only to resurrect a united one. Trump swept the popular vote, the Electoral College, and the heart of the nation.
Because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
Meanwhile, back on the campus of historic Howard University in Washington, D.C., hundreds of Kamala Harris loyalists huddled in glum silence. For hours, they had been watching and waiting. And the realization was setting on them one by one. Hundreds of thousands of women did not show up to vote for Kamala. In fact, a resounding message from the major suburbs of America swung that political pendulum nearly 6 points on average in Republican favor. At around, early in the evening, just after a few more key states had been called, the path to victory had evaporated. Kamala Harris was nowhere to be found. The next thing we know, out comes her campaign chair to make this announcement.
We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow.
The American people clearly understand the dark roads ahead need not a leader who will hide and hide and hide, but we're about to enter a world who needs an America whose leader will fight and fight and fight. God bless those Americans who made the right choice. Joining us now, Josh Hammer, Senior Editor-at-Large of Newsweek. Welcome back.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Where does Kamala go from here?
That's really a great question. So, earlier today, my father-in-law actually stopped by our apartment, and that was one of his very first questions as well, actually. So, I mean, it's very much on a lot of our minds. I mean, she's basically held every position short of the presidency, right, Janelle? I mean, she was a DA in San Francisco. She was Attorney General of California. She was a senator from California, Vice President of the United States. She's now tried multiple times to become president of the United States. Back in 2020 in the Democratic primary, she famously did not even make it until the Iowa caucuses. This time, even her own Nancy Pelosi orchestrated bloodless coup of Joe Biden, ultimately came up, thank God, quite short in the Electoral College vote. I don't know. I mean, I think she's probably looking at potentially the end of the road. That's not to say that she won't give it another go at some point in a potential future Democratic presidential primary. I see virtually no path to her winning the nomination, especially when her own home state rival, Gavin Newsom, they're somewhat famous frenemies. They're both from the Bay Area, San Francisco area. They have a very love-hate relationship. Gavin Newsom, very much more so than Kamala Harris, seems to be kind of the cool thing these days in the Democratic Party. So I genuinely don't know, Chanel. Look, if I were personally advising Kamala Harris, thank goodness I'm not in this particular position. I'm quite happy that this wretched Harrington lost last evening. But if I were in the unfortunate position of trying to give her some unsolicited advice, what I would probably say is, just get out of a public light for a little while. I mean, you were the Vice President of the United States.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.